Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We have Leslie McClure here with us. Leslie, thanks for being on.
Thank you.
Now, Leslie, I know a lot of the fitness professionals watching this already know who you are, but for those few people that don't, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, we have a company called 411 Video Information, and over the years, we work with a lot of fitness professionals to help them build their brands. A lot of them have books, DVDs, videos, subscription websites, things like that, and they want to get their names out there, so they work with us to help them get into the marketplace and have more people know about them. So we do specialize in health, fitness, lifestyle, that sort of thing. And I should say that I've been doing this for a fairly long time, and I'm very fortunate that we've worked with a lot of really great fitness people. It's a great industry, and most all of them remain friends. So I'm very proud of that.
Always a good sign. And we were talking a little bit before we hit the record button that you do have some friends that we have in common that are in the training room and some of the people that will be watching this now. That's great.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, for a lot of the people watching this show, and I've been in the industry for a little over 20 years now, which seems crazy to say or to even think about, but often you hear about fit pros who have a video. When are you usually brought into that process of, I have a book, a video, or something that I'm looking to promote?
Well, a lot of times people will come to us because they want that particular deal. They have an idea and they don't know how to execute it. So if you bring us in at the beginning, we can help you with production. We can point you in the right place. We don't actually do the production, but we surround ourselves with a lot of people who do. Good pricing, reputable, reliable people to do the replication, distribution, things like that. If you come to me with a finished product, which a lot of people do, and they have their videos or their DVDs or their books or their streaming websites, then we actually help them promote to the media. So a lot of our media contacts, radio, television, print, internet now is a big deal. And all the areas where you see somebody in the magazine, you pick up that magazine and you wonder how they got there. Well, hopefully we help them get there.
Which is great. I mean, early on in my fitness career, you start seeing the same kind of names and faces. And you're like, wow, how did these people get out there? And it's someone like yourself, I found out later on, that's actually made that possible. And
we're pretty proud of that. And so over the years, like I said, we've been doing it a long time, and I'm very fortunate that we have a good reputation with the clients that we've represented, and the media respects that we follow through on what we say we're going to do. So we've been able to cultivate those contacts, and again, those people have become friends as well.
That's great. So if I contact you and I have a video, which I don't, but I know a lot of people watching this, and I can think of a lot of names that do have video, and even more that have the ideas of what they'd like to have produced. What does that look like? Do I call you up? Do I shoot you an email? And then how does that typical engagement happen?
Well, you can do either. I love the telephone. I mean, I'm really old school in that respect. I just find it so much easier to connect with somebody on the phone and actually find out exactly what they want. And then my brain starts working into how I can help you. If you shoot me an email, I'll always get right back to you. But I usually would encourage a phone call after a couple of emails to say, okay, how do we hash this out? So basically, if you had an idea or a concept, I'd want to know if you had a website, what your social media programs were you active on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, do you have followers, what's your budget, how much do you want to spend? And I guess videos and DVDs have really come down in price over the years since I've been working on it, so it's a lot easier to get things out there. And it's a lot easier to get even just streaming things. So that quality is much, much better. But hard copy still hasn't gone away. A lot of people are still buying DVDs. They're still out there, and they're reasonably priced, and people want to hold something in their hand.
Yeah, and you mentioned, I have a couple questions that come out of that, but you mentioned website and social media. How important is it for a fitness professional coming out there to have a large social media presence already backing them when they want to come to production and get something distributed?
Well, I think because social media is so new and it's become so big, everybody's looking for those huge numbers. So the huge numbers are attractive to people in studios who are looking for paid talent.
Mm-hmm.
If you are the talent and you want to foot the bill and produce it yourself, the numbers are important, but they're not near as important as just knowing how to manipulate your social media channels. I mean, you can have a couple thousand, followers and still sell your program, as opposed to, millions of followers and you're selling your program. The millions of followers are not as easy to get as they used to be. And a lot of the people early on didn't really get real solid followers. So there's kind of a catch-22 there.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, and everybody watches, I own a whole marketing and branding agency, which is totally different than what you do, but mine's all in the web world. So I'm always curious to see how that plays out with social media, especially when people used to just buy followers. They used to go and just buy fake people.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but that's the problem. So people are looking for organic followers. I mean, you could have millions of followers and people would go, okay, wow, she has millions of followers, but they're not real followers. So it becomes difficult, but people look for that. And if you know how to, and you're in the business, if you know how to work your accounts, you don't need those followers. You get specific followers who interact with you and spread the word and things like that. And I have a lot of people who don't want to do social stuff, but you really have to, for right or wrong, it's here to stay for a while. And it's kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly of what's going on. And it's more work. People are thinking, it's not more work. Well, yes, it is. You get up in the morning, you do your email, your phone calls, your Instagram, your Facebook, your Twitter,
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I couldn't agree with you more. And it's almost like it sounds what you're saying is it's for what you do. It's traditional marketing leveraged online. And so I'm going to guess that what you're saying is like having 1,000 followers versus 100,000 that aren't responsive would be like putting you in a niche magazine where you're going to get that's geared towards your audience, right? Versus a general place.
That certainly is helpful. I mean, if you really have legitimately 100,000 followers, that's great, but you also know what you're doing out there.
Yep.
And there are those people who really have come up because of social media. So for us, we have two different groups of people that we work with. We have the people who came up as social media darlings, and then they want to go into a promotion with a video and have followers and give that information. And then we have those people like a Denise Austin or a Kathy Smith or a Tammy Lee Webb, Buns of Steel, who came up from the other side with the videos and the DVDs and their following, and now they're pushing them over to social media. And so there's two different schools of thought and two different ways to do it, but you have to do both. In a way, you have to be both. Just it depends on where you start.
Oh, absolutely.
And where you finish, I guess. But it's ongoing. So, I mean, there's no really point A to point B. There's a lot of curves in between and wiggle room, and you have to change. And the reason that so many of these people who are still around is because they adapt to the change.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. And it's innovation, right? You have to adapt and innovate consistently. And I think it was a famous thing of axiom that if you took business and you boiled it down, it's innovation and marketing is what it comes down to for any business that's survived over any length of time.
And it's innovation and marketing of yourself as the brand. I mean, a lot of the fitness people who are out there, they are their brand. They are selling themselves. Once you put them on the website, once you give them a Snapchat or you give them a YouTube channel, whether they have a hard copy or not, they are selling something. And in social media, they're getting sponsorships, they're getting paid for posts, there's a lot of ways out there to promote yourself and make money if you know what you're doing. Most people didn't know what they were doing because it's so new, I mean, I'd say 10 years ago, my son said, you need to be on Twitter. And I was like, what? and I'm like, okay. But then I realized my first response was, well, it's too much work. What do I need to do that for? But you have to, it's my business. I have to know what everybody's doing. So that's why we segued into, of course, the traditional PR, which everybody wants, and magazines, newspapers. All the magazines are online, the newspapers are online, the TV's online. You know, you could be on a national show or you could be on a local show, but they all go online. And once they go online, you're national. It's out there. So that's a good thing.
No, absolutely. I didn't think of it that way, but I couldn't agree with you more when you're going through there. And obviously a testament to you for your own innovation. I mean, you said when we started this that you've been in the industry for a very long time,
yeah,
and you're still extremely successful. So you've obviously kind of innovated or adapted your own business model to the changing times successfully.
Well, we've expanded. We've had to expand. I mean, when I started, there was VHS on the market.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if people still know what that is.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then of course it was DVD and it's Blu-ray and it's all these other channels. And then you know, the internet became the different websites change and things like that. And then every time you turn around, there's a new social media coming up. I mean, Facebook was the be all and end all. Then it was Twitter. Now it's Instagram. Pinterest, you know, you have to be on top of it all. And we do help people with websites as well. I don't really design them, but we help with the marketing aspect of, you know, writing copy and things like that, because that is another extension of themselves. It's, you know, people have business cards, but the internet, everybody needs to have some sort of presence on the internet, whatever that is, whether it's your website or it's your social imprint.
I couldn't agree more, obviously. You're speaking right to me.
I'm preaching to the choir.
No, it's perfect. And honestly, we don't do copywriting, so we should talk later.
Okay.
Which is perfect. So why the fitness industry? How did you pick that vertical, or how did that vertical pick you?
Well, when I first started in the video industry, and again, like I said, we started in VHS, we started with wanting to produce an instructional type of video, you know, how to do something, how to get your child ready for school, how to train your dog, how to do something. We realized there was no distribution outlet for that. There was no way to get the video from point A or point B to point B. Jane Fonda was on the market at that point. Jack Nicklaus had an $85 how to golf tape out on the market. And, you know, we thought that made sense, that you use your VCR for something other than renting movies. Just rental movies was big at that time. And when I realized there was no way for anybody to find out about this video that I produced, I figured, well, let's get into distribution. So we worked on a distribution company which had a rack of DVDs, of videos actually at the time, that we would rack certain things, like you could teach a child how to go to school, how to take the college SATs, how to do all this stuff. And we would niche market into these different bookstores, video stores, children's stores, toy stores, things like that. Well, that didn't work. Nobody wanted to buy the videos. So we ended up taking them individually, and I started to contact different companies, like media companies like People Magazine and Entertainment Weekly, who were reviewing movies. And I said, look, there's a whole bunch of these other videos out there. They don't have an outlet. So then I became that person that people would call and say, well, where do I get these videos? And I'd have them, and there'd be catalogs and things like that. But the lion's share of the instructional how-to market became fitness. It just morphed into fitness. You know, it became children's, it became cooking, instructional, special interest. Nobody really had a name to it, but health and fitness became the issue.
So really, I got to guess, you know, most of us watching this that are in the fitness industry, we kind of came into this industry and have you to thank a lot of that, because we came up watching a lot of these videos that got us inspired. You know, usually I always say there's two people in the fitness industry. There's the one that overcame their own challenges and now wants to help other people. And there's the other person that was just kind of naturally gifted. But either way, they've probably encountered a fitness video that you helped bring to market, or that industry to market at some point.
Probably. I mean, because
That's
we were
pretty cool.
so early on, and so we were instrumental in different instructional catalogs that used to house all these videos. And like I said, the lion's share of the videos became health and fitness. And those became the easiest ones to produce, and those became the ones that people didn't want to just rent. They wanted to buy them because they had to use them over and over and over again. So as the prices came down and people like Jane Fonda and Denise Austin and Kathy Smith paved the way, then yes, absolutely. And of course, we were very fortunate to work with a lot of those people as well. And I know I don't look that old, right?
No, not at all. It's just kind of shocking to me, honestly. It really is. It's really cool. I didn't know that about you at all. It's a really cool tip, or I mean, a factoid about you.
My website is kind of playful. It's I don't know. Can I give my website?
Absolutely. I'm on your website right now. Yeah.
It's 411videoinfo.com. So it's the numbers 411videoinfo.com. So I did also buy the domain name 411dvdinfo.com, but most people still use the video. That's just where we started. That's just how it came about. But my website is very playful in the fact that I have pictures with a lot of people that I work with, so they're all up there, and it's fun. It's actually fun for me if I'm not doing something else. I can scroll through and see the memories.
I saw Emmett Smith. You have a lot of people on there, so obviously very well known.
A huge Dancing with the Stars fan, so we've gotten to go to Dancing with the Stars. One of my very good clients actually knew the executive producer that brought the Dancing with the Stars show over here, so we got to go all the time, and that was really fun.
One of the fringe benefits of being in the PR industry, I assume, or
yeah, well, one of the fringe benefits of being a good publicist and,
there you go.
and having good clients who like me too. So, and we remain friends, so it's fun.
That's fantastic. It sounds like a thread. Every time you mention your clients, you're also mentioning friends, which I think is so critical, right? It just shows the character of the person.
All of our business is from referral.
Yep.
And again, like I said, we got into your training room because one of my clients said, oh, you should be in here, and I started to see all the positive comments that people were writing on there. And I responded to that because one thing about the fitness industry and the health and fitness professionals is they're really top-notch people. They're good people, and they're very supportive. It's not an overly competitive market. Everybody thinks there's room for somebody else. So everybody's really nice and really friendly. There's no cutthroat. So yes, it's a friendly, they're friends. It's not just, I think one of my things I'm proudest of as a publicist is that the people are my friends. After I stopped working with them too. So that says something, because if I wasn't good or I didn't do a good job or something happened, I don't think you'd want to be my friend, So, I mean, it's just, what it is. So again, we're fortunate, and we do get a lot of repeat business, which is nice too.
Oh, absolutely. And my guess is that most everybody watching this can relate, because in the fitness industry, it's very similar. You build a bond with somebody, and good people helping good people, it kind of comes back circular. Like you said, you referred to the training room, the group that people are probably watching this in right now. And it really is. It's something we try to protect, because we really want that positive synergistic flow to come in and people to help out each other.
Yeah, and I've seen that happening a lot. I see it happening in a lot of organizations too. I went to the Pilates Method Alliance conference a couple of years ago. One of my clients wanted me to go with her, and it was not a huge conference, a couple hundred people, I don't know, maybe 500 people. Everybody was so friendly, so nice, so supportive, just in love with each other, and it was a real love fest. And that was just indicative, fortunately, of being in a business where people like each other, and you just want to go to work every day,
Absolutely. That's a passion. It really is.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back a step and talk about, because I know people watching this right now are thinking, I have an idea, I have a concept, I have this video, or I do things just a little bit differently. If you were to give them an ideal step 1, 2, 3, 4, what would that look like, and at what point along the way is it most optimal for them to reach out to you to find out more information from you?
I'd say you call when you have the idea. Let me know what you have in mind. I used to have a lot of people who called and said, hey, just tell me what to produce. What's waiting out there? What should I produce? I'll do that. And you know what? There is no idea that's out there that's waiting to happen. If you're passionate about what you have, there should be a way to make it work for somebody else. So even in the fitness business, I mean, a sit-up's a sit-up, a push-up's a push-up. There's only so many ways you can tweak these things. It's the way you put it together, the way you reach your audience, and the way they connect with you. So it's a lot more transparent nowadays, but I would say it's a lot easier to get into the business. So if you need a production company, you can call us and we will refer you to a couple of people. You check them out. We don't get anything for this, so we're happy to refer people that we respect. And if you like them, you go with them. If you don't like them, you find somebody else. Then there's replicators. We work with a lot of different replicators. The most important thing is if your replicator, if you can get a hold of your rep to when you need stuff, that's almost more important than the price. So, you want to connect with somebody that you have a relationship with, and we have people in our referral that we can send you to. So there's always something. Packaging, we work with graphics designers. So if you need packaging, if you need a website, obviously, if you need someone to do your social media, it just depends on what stage you're at. But we know if we can help you, we can probably put you in touch with somebody who can.
That's fantastic. I have a feeling you're going to get a lot of phone calls.
Oh, that's nice.
I just, again.
You want me to give my phone number? I actually have a landline.
There you absolutely. Please do. I'm going to put all this information in the show notes too, so people can easily.
But don't text me because it's a landline. I live in Pebble Beach, which is a wooded area, and I actually have some clients in Malibu who don't get cell reception either, and a couple places that when you live in certain more remote areas, you don't get good cell reception. So so call my landline, which is 831-656-0553, but so you can't text to a landline. So it's landline and no text for now anyway. Yep. I mean, I do have a cell phone when I travel, but, but in my office, we just don't get cell reception.
Well, and just phone calls so easy. You get that personal connection. You can answer questions quickly and have a dialogue about things.
Right.
And I got to imagine in your space, I've been behind the camera in a lot of production videos. For some reason, I can't imagine they don't put me in front of the camera, but as the expert guiding the models and telling them what to do.
Uh-huh.
But I think what people don't know is they don't know what they don't know. And I got to imagine a lot of people have a preconceived notion of what it takes to get into a fitness magazine or Time magazine you mentioned, or onto Netflix for streaming or what have you. But there's probably 80% of the stuff that that questions that they just don't even know to ask yet. And a phone call, I'm sure, can clear those up.
We can take some shortcuts. I mean, we can get some yes/no answers fairly quickly. There are a lot of lists online. There are a lot of things online. A lot of them are pretty outdated. This is something that we do on a daily basis. So we are in touch with everybody on a daily basis. We get new, this person is no longer here. That person is no longer there. We can take a lot of shortcuts and save a lot of time. Sometimes people look on a line online and they'll find people and they'll make a bunch of phone calls and everybody's out of business. They get to me and I'm like, well, don't call this one. Don't call this one. They're gone. They're not gone. So it's unfortunate, but once somebody's gone, they're not updating their online presence. So.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. And like I said, I'm sure if someone's got a concept or an idea, just even having a quick consultation with you and talking to you, I'm sure you can steer them in the right direction.
Yeah, and happy to do it. I mean, sometimes I spend, hours with people on the phone just because I'm intrigued with their ideas. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, I got a couple people I can think of in our Platinum Mastermind group, which is another group that we run, business owners that I'll be sending your way because
thank you.
Video is something that's commonly talked about, and it's something I hear about in my years in the fitness industry all the time, that people have a video in there. It's almost like people talk about, I have a book in me. You hear that commonly in the fitness
Right.
industry. It's I have a video in me.
Right.
I
mean, people want to do books too. It's nice. I mean, a lot of people do ebooks, but people are still doing, hard copy books too. So I don't think the hard copies of things are going away. I think things are shifting, but I think there's still a market for everything. And because there is the market, there's prices have come down to where it's a lot more affordable for people to get started.
And I know you're busy, but are you seeing a big movement for the fitness industry? Do you see that going into like the Netflix streaming or Hulu or things like that, or on demand?
Well, I think they are. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the onlines are going. You can get them on Amazon Prime. You can get them on Netflix. A lot of them are doing them themselves. I mean, certain studios like Lionsgate started their BFit channel. Gaiam has a TV channel. I mean, there's a lot of that. But there's also that market that's not already there. They still want to watch when they want. They don't want to watch it on their screen. Maybe they're not getting a great cell reception or a great streaming reception, and they pop a video in. If it costs, virtually little to buy it, there's still a market for that.
Yeah, that's me. I mean, I'd like to, not for entertainment, but for educational DVDs, or videos, I should say. I want the DVD that I can have.
I have 3 boys, and my youngest has a huge DVD collection. My middle son says, why? I stream everything. I watch everything. So I think it just depends. It's different strokes. It's what you're comfortable with. So I wouldn't, discount anything. But of course, once you have it either in streaming or you have it on hard copy, you can do both.
Absolutely. That's why I love it.
Yeah.
Well, Leslie, you've been so gracious with your time, so thank you so much for taking the time today. One more time, can you let people know where they can reach out to you to find out more information?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram as 411 Video, but my website is 411videoinfo.com. And of course, my phone number, no text, call 831-656-0553. And I'm also in the training group on Facebook, so you can connect there as well.
Excellent. And so when we post this into the training room, I'm going to ask everybody to post their questions down there as well. And I'll let you know when questions pop up. So hopefully they can see your answers and they can reach out.
That'd be great. That'd be great. It was really nice meeting you. I'm surprised that our paths haven't crossed sooner, but since you are in Santa Barbara and it's like only 3.5 hours, hopefully we get a chance to meet in person.
I would love that. That would mean a lot to me.
Great.
Thank you so much for being here, Leslie.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.